Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and welcome guests. The title of my speech today is Endurance. Endurance because of a very lucid quote that my father once shared with me. It's the quote by William Buckley that goes like this: "Endurance is not just the ability to bear a hard pain, but to turn it into glory." In 1947, India got her independence, and my father was posted there with the British Army. We were born there, and the British were given 1 year in which to leave the country. Many people chose to stay, and many people chose to return to Britain. My father's sister chose to return with her entire family, and my father chose to remain in India because of very many perks, very big houses, very many servants, wonderful weather, but his decision was actually, or did actually, change the course of our lives forever. My first memory as a child was actually being witness to burying 2 of my siblings before the age of 6 months in tea cases because we couldn't even afford coffins to bury them. My first home was under the steps of my book that is called Indian Full Stop, English Full Stop, which is because of being born in India to British parents. And just a few feet away from us, people washed their clothes, bathed, washed their utensils, did just about everything. But that was home to us. I do remember my little sister Vanessa and myself running in the lane close by and watching a man who would cook these Indian rotis in oil and an Indian kind of a chicken curry, and we would stand by him and stare at him forever, and he would splash hot oil on us to send us away because he didn't want us staring at his food. But we would run a few yards and run all the way back and keep looking at him, and he would get so fed up that he would take a bit of whatever, some paper, and he would put the roti into the paper, the bread, and the curry, would push it in our hands and say, "Now get out and don't come back, because if you do this time I'll really burn you." But every day we used to come back, and every day he would feed us. And our second home was in a proper slum, where 3,000 people shared 3 toilets. There was no electricity, no water, no sanitary conditions, but that was home to us. I remember at the time coming home to my father and saying, "Dad, why do people always treat us so badly? Why do, they throw water balloons at us, or why do they, or why are they unkind to us?" And my father always used to say, "Have you ever walked by on the street and noticed how many people are without homes? Have you ever walked by and seen how many people are without limbs? Have you ever walked by and noticed how very well off we are? Even if it's a very small room and we have nothing, have you ever noticed how well off we really are compared to the people who are not?" And he always reminded me of the quote on endurance, which I felt was very lucid at the time. Today I run an NGO in India for 200 semi-educated people, and it's a learning and educational center. I run a training business in London. I speak at about 15 to 20 different organizations every month, women's organizations, schools, universities. And I've also written a book and been interviewed by ITV, Channel 5, BBC, and I have 37 media interviews lined up in Southeast Asia, where the book is scheduled to be released on the 10th of June for a second publishing contract that I received. And all of that has actually come by only because of the very lucid speech that my father once shared with me, that endurance is just not the ability to bear a hard pain, but to try and turn it into glory, because it's only when you do that that people want to know. If you can't do that, and if you don't do that, you will just end up with feeling sorry for yourself and not being able to go anywhere. Thank you very much, Mr. Toastmaster.